Canada has a solid showing in health sciences and biotech when it comes to innovation and startups, but how can we turn that into a mature and thriving sector? This week on the Wonk podcast, I spoke with Gordon McCauley, President and CEO of adMare, which supports the sector, and started by asking how we can do better at turning early-stage leads into mature companies.
The short story is we've done a lousy job of translating that basic research infrastructure, raw material that you're describing, into a sustainable life sciences industry. That said, we have an extraordinary group of emerging companies. And frankly, that's a bit of a challenge in this industry anyway, because by definition, the further a new product gets in the development life cycle, the more likely it is going to be acquired by a global player. However, one of the things we know for sure, it's 100% clear in the business literature, is that without anchor companies, we will not have a self-sustaining life sciences industry. This is basic Michael Porter stuff, and it's very, very clear. And in fact, when you look at Porter's original work, he talked about Genzyme, one of the cornerstones of the life sciences cluster in Boston, as an example of that. So one of the things that we need to do is to build those anchor companies. And you know what? We've had them before, right? If you look in Vancouver, QLT was a classic example. You look in Montreal, BioInnovations Pharma is a classic example. And it is the case today still. And we are investors in early stage companies. Every single company in Vancouver or Montreal is 1, maybe 2 degrees of separation away from QLT or BioChem, just proving Porter's theory about anchor companies.
And I asked adMare's Gordon McCauley if we are capitalizing on a flight of human capital from places like the U.S.
I think we are doing some really important things. Again, to give credit, in the budget, there was a specific program around attracting some of those scientists. I think specific places, U of T in particular, has done a great job of saying there's a specific number of scientists we want, and we're putting capital there to attract them. And they've attracted some monster names. I mean, they're really high profile folks. One of the things I worry about, however, is the entrepreneurial talent. So, again, we're in the business of creating companies. And one of our challenges is always finding the talent that can drive those companies forward. And we run this executive program that's been incredibly successful, we're really proud of. But at the end of the day, we've got to find those people. One of the things I would love for the government of Canada to get behind is kind of a North Star program of repatriating Canadian entrepreneurs who have found success in the U.S. In our industry, typically that's Boston or San Fran. But given what's going on in the world, they want to come home. And to be clear, that's not some brilliant idea we sat around and came up with in the pub one night. We know that's possible because we've had outreach from entrepreneurs in those places who've said to us, look, we hear you're the people we should talk to about creating a company in Canada. To be fair, it's really complicated to do. I mean, just from a tax basis alone, to think about doing that is complicated. But at the end of the day, that would also have the same kind of impact that attracting the researchers will absolutely have.
I also asked McCauley how we can do better at using health data to our advantage in the growing biotech sector here.
I think there is a sense of urgency, but let's start with the opportunity. I mean, first of all, 30% of the world's data is health data. There is an extraordinary opportunity to find ways of creating value. And I think the Public Policy Forum recently wrote on this, that it's something like 110 or $115 billion of value where there's potential to unlock there. And obviously, in life sciences data, you have to be very careful and thoughtful about protections. I would argue that's probably true of all data, but at the end of the day, there is a real opportunity, and there's an opportunity to use that data to advance human health and to advance knowledge in the space. So I absolutely think there's an opportunity. Again, there's a bit of an infrastructure issue here. There's a bit of a gold rush happening with data centers, obviously, and that's something that I think Canada needs to get behind very aggressively. And again, I think the last couple of months have been fairly encouraging on that front, but there is a huge opportunity that's waiting there for sure.
That was some of my conversation with Gordon McCauley, President and CEO of adMare, on this week's Wonk podcast.